At budget estimates last month, Labor confirmed through questioning of the Liberal minister that as many as 30 fire stations around New South Wales could be temporarily shut due to tolling, which causes staff shortages. Tolling is an acronym for taking offline, which means that Fire and Rescue New South Wales would let additional stations be temporarily closed when available staff fall below 4. This is despite the state heading into bushfire season and that the closure of fire stations would require crews to be sent further afield to answer emergencies. On top of the already 34 fire stations which are on the tolling list, to be added are another 30 fire stations, including stations in Bundeena, Scarborough and Helensburgh, as well as Camden and Picton. This process has created fears that lives and property could be endangered by protracting response times during an emergency. The Minister for Emergency Services, David Elliott, refused to deny that the measure was intended to save money in the budget. He did not have an answer readily available on how much money had been saved from previous tolling of fire stations. I pressed the Minister and the Department on the decision to let Bundeena, Scarborough and Helensburgh be taken offline, especially as Bundeena Fire Station is located within the Royal National Park and accessible via a single road, with the next nearest stations, Sutherland or Revesby, more than 30 minutes away. Minister Elliott said, and I quote, "If I had my way, there would be a fire station in every suburb." This completely contradicts his decision to allow these local fire stations to be taken offline. On Monday, our Shadow Minister for Emergency Services, Jihad Dib, and I met with concerned locals and representatives of the Fire Brigade Employees Union, including their Secretary, Leighton Drury, to hear concerns about what such closures mean for various communities. They told of the substantial risks that this policy presents and that slow response times from temporary closures of our stations only heightens people's fears and increases the risk of tragic outcomes. At Bundeena, we met with locals including Graham Kelly, Moya Turner, Ross Kelly and ALP spokesperson for Heathcote ALP SEC, Marianne Stewart. They feel threatened by the idea that their only fire station, which actually doubles as an ambulance service, could be taken offline in such a bushfire-prone area because the government wants to save money. The community are more aware of the ravages of bushfire than most because Bundeena obviously lies in the heart of the Royal National Park with dense bushland. One of those locals, Ross Kelly, told us how he became unwell and that Fire and Rescue New South Wales were the first responders. If he had to rely on someone coming from so far away, he could have been in real trouble. Jihad Dib and I also met with fireys Jonathan Wright and Max Murphy at Camden Fire Station, who told us how they get paid about $3,000 a year as retained firefighters to make themselves available around the clock. When you add the call-out money, it averages out to approximately about $14,000 per year. Therefore, the government gets great value from these firefighters who don't do it for the money but are part of the local community and work hard for them. The government would rather skimp on paying these people a small amount so that Camden and Picton fire stations would end up relying on surrounding stations like Narellan to fill the gaps. It is extremely worrying if there's a major incident at Narellan. The safety of our residents could be potentially at risk. Remember, these fireys don't just put out fires, but also attend to emergency incidences like car crashes and medical emergencies. The New South Wales government should not be shutting down fire stations and decreasing fire services. Delays in emergency response times leaves our communities exposed. The people of Sydney's southern suburbs, northern Illawarra and southwest Sydney deserve their own local fire stations, and they should not have to wait for fire trucks from other areas to arrive.